The alien lay still, caught in darkness. It lay in darkness because it needed no light. It was a creature of power, of size, intelligence. Why would it fear the dark? Crags of stone, chilled by the howling blizzard outside, guarded the alien from the outside. In this place, close to the sky, the alien could see not only the whiteness of snow, but also the blackness of space. The alien did not reside in the cave for refuge, for survival. The cave helped to house the alien's source of sustenance, as well as the technologies it used to gather information on this planet. It stayed here because it was noisy and bothersome outside. The alien was not native to this planet. That was what made it alien. A chrome body it had, gargantuan and durable, was capable of flying to any planet in this star system with no craft needed. It was strong. It was long-lived and has the wisdom accumulated from a long life. Not like those things that claim this planet their own. Humans. Humans are pathetic. The alien knew about them before setting claw to the surface. Noisy and bothersome, greedy and violent, entitled and impossibly evil. They were unwelcoming. Unable to see past their own fears, they tried to drive away the alien when it came. It was a sensible agreement. They toil away for these metals, to make tools to compensate their weakness, and to slake their bloodlust. The alien would not need to dig for its sustenance, and the alien would grant a ruler capable of bringing them peace. But they could not see past their own fear, so they lashed out. The alien shifted, its oxide-laden carapace scraping heavily on the stone. It allowed heat to dissipate from the molten ichor running through its hide. As steam burned the air around, the alien whispered a command, and a sophisticated device brought itself to its face, and showed it what it wanted. The pathetic humans. There they were on the holographic screen, yelling childishly at one another. So distressed, and for what? The alien had taken some of their metals, and in their attempts to harm the alien, many of them died. Not by its own assault, even, but because they could not withstand the blaze of the alien's flight. They cried and seethed in anger, for bits of metal they couldn't even eat, over a conflict that took almost nothing of consequence. Humans are pathetic. The alien let its head down, keeping the device on but allowing itself a restful posture. It kept its predatory eyes on the screen. What did they know of hardship? The alien had fled from a world destroyed by a solar catastrophe, and may well be the last of its kind left. It braved the destructive vacuum of space for years on end, and offered inferior beings kindness in exchange for salvation from starvation, but was rejected out of ignorance, and fled far away. Time passed, and the alien found its interest piqued again by the figures on the screen. The humans of that little colony had formed an entourage. They made their little weapons, tiny and dangerous to none but themselves. They vowed their vengeance and left their homes. The alien could care less. The petty things they were, the humans would turn on each other soon enough, or get distracted by money or the irresistible opportunity to maltreat one another. More time passed. The alien awoke to find the screen still displaying the efforts of the humans. They could hold their attentions together after all. The humans, still in full number, kept marching. The group, clad in pale imitations of the alien's carapace, had built themselves a floating vessel to cross the ocean. Terrified of drowning they were, but pressing onwards, the alien watched them harness the wind, as well as almost die by it. Such short-sighted beings they were ingenious in some moments. Many humans did not survive the voyage, and as they reached the shores of their ancestral land, the humans still spoke of revenge, spouting songs pitying themselves and their plight, licking their wounds. Pathetic. The alien occasionally ate, taking from the massive horde. Many of these trinkets they took had fair craftsmanship, no fabrication-worthy display by the alien standards, but surprisingly artistic. The humans drew ever closer, and their numbers dwindled. They fought through criminals of their own kind and wildlife, and fatigue. A small few made it to the bottom of the mountain. All this struggling for nothing but a grudge. At least there was dedication. The alien awoke to a proximity sensor. The alien pieced together quickly the identity of the visitors. It waved a claw of the information device, causing the sphere to grow dim. It heard the sound of footsteps, but only one. It rose to its full height, wanting to survey its lair properly, and as it did so, a cloth banner fluttered at the entrance of the cave. And here he stood, the only remaining human. Frost had caked the spoilers of his armor. He was gaunt. He had stooped posture from his exhaustion. The alien gazed into the eyes of this minuscule thing and held it in his eyes. The human drew some sort of bladed weapon before flinching for the effort. It looked up at the alien, defiantly, weakly. In response, the alien spread his wings, massive chromatic sails smoldering with heat. The human cowered, so typical. And yet, even in fear, it said, "Beast, I've travelled far and wide to bring you to justice. You'll subjugate no one. You will pay for raising my home, for the lives you've taken. I will slay you, in the name of all that is right." The alien was stunned. The human had to understand that he could die if the alien so much as breathed directly on him, and the weapon he held had no chance of fatally wounding it. Losing his companions on the verge of death, and he still insisted on avenging his home. Humans are pathetic, petty, weak, foolhardy, stubborn. Humans are admirable. The alien made a decision. It spread its wings and bore its claws, but even as it did so, it didn't strike down the human. It dodged the human's blade, not for survival, but to make it a fight, so that the human would see reward for his struggles. The alien made a misstep. It tripped on a rock it knew was there. It lunged on the blade, which barely breached his skin. The alien roared in a pain it did not feel. It did so for the human, who it now understood suffered and fought like itself. It flew, leaking molten metal as it did so, a falling star in the frozen sky. The human did not kill the alien, but he believed he did. He believed the score was settled, that the terrible monster was banished by his hand. Because the alien understood now the depths of human determination, and the human would return victorious and name his enemy Dragon, and the alien left the Earth.